Hi ladies, I'm just popping in today with a quick video. Just want to double check just bear with me for a moment. Come on. Just seeing if my laptop's catching up. Okay, so I'll just push that up a bit there. Sorry, I've got a mess on my table, but I decided to do a bit of creating this morning. After watching Tracey from Lindy's gang, and she showed us, oh hang on, sorry, my laptop's volume, okay, sorry. Yeah, so Tracey excuse me, was showing a technique that her mum developed, I suppose, or in her little book. So you can go on to Lindy's gang and see Tracey is starting to do some quick lives on Tuesdays and just showcasing the different products. And so it's well worth having a go. So when I saw it this morning, I thought, oh, I have to have a crack at that. So what she essentially has done, these are just a couple of samples. These are the colours that she actually uses in her embossing powder. And she used the Sweet Violet Purple Teal Starburst spray. Okay, so essentially what she does, I'm going to demonstrate this for you, but she essentially just sprinkled the gold embossing powder all over the card. Then she heat set it. No embossing ink underneath or anything like that, just straight onto the card. And so she heat set it with the gun, and so you end up with this beautiful gold. And then she sprayed the Sweet Violet Purple Teal over the top, and so then you dry that off, and so when the water evaporates, it just leaves you with this nice shimmer. Now I don't know if mine turned out as well as hers did. I can't quite see the teal on here too. Now this paper that I'm using has got a little bit of a watercolor paper quality about it, so that could impact. It might be absorbing some of the moisture. She used a tag, so that to me is just normal cardstock. Does that make a difference? I don't know, but that's kind of what well, that's the same technique that she used. And then I decided, because I'm thinking of something that I wanted to do, so I used the what's this one called? Sparkling Sunset. Okay, that's from the Enchanted Forest range of embossing powders. So that's the it's got more texture to it, whereas the gold one is a more flat finish, whereas this has got a bit of glitter and all sorts of things in it. And so instead of, I use the Yesteryear yellow as the spray as opposed to what she did. So that's the effect that I come up with those two. Very similar sort of thing. I like it, and it could have its purposes. These particular colours would be great for steampunky, grungy type things, or even or both of these would be good for Halloween gothic type stuff. So what I'm going to do now is just demonstrate and powder, because I forgot to turn on the camera before I started to do it. So what I am thinking of, you can see the card that I'm using now. This is just cardstock, and I'm going to be using it as part of my tiny pieces of art for this week. And so I thought this is where, because it's going to be a little ray of sunshine, so I thought, oh, let's do these colors on here. So I've just sprinkled that over. She does it very liberally. Tracey actually covered the whole piece of paper. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't have the luxury of just grabbing another embossing powder off the shelf. So I've not put it all over, but that's okay. It's going to get covered with some Starburst spray in a moment. But so I've done that, so I'll just pick that up, and I've just sort of And I don't mind the fact that it's not all over. I'm just going to put the rest of that. I'm trying to save as much as I can, because you can see my bottle is almost finished. So let's get the heat gun out. I will grab this. She did heat it from the bottom in the beginning. She did around the edges so that it doesn't fly off the edge, but then she went right up to the edge. But I'll just start doing it along the bottom here, and then you'll start to see it. You know, this is using up a lot of embossing powder, I will admit that, but I mean, if it means you're going to use your embossing powders and they're not just going to sit on the cupboard looking gorgeous, you might as well use them. Okay, it's starting to... Okay, so I'm going to just take it over to the top now. Hold it up a little bit. Now, because I've got some bits that are well embossed and some parts that it's not well embossed, so I'm getting some ridges and some really interesting textures, and it's going to take a little bit to get those activated because they're so full. Just pulling away a little bit. It does take a lot of heating to do this technique, so do make sure you've got a fan or something on to make sure that it doesn't overheat or anything like that. Whenever you're working with embossing powder, you should anyway have your heat on. Okay, so I'll just sort of bring that up to the camera a little bit. Just wait for my laptop to catch up. Okay, so you can sort of see that that's all very nicely. Now, I don't want the purple. Oh no, that's right. I used Yesteryear yellow on the other sample that I did, but I thought I might try this one. Let me just have a bit of a... Yep, it's lighter. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm shaking it up just to get the little bits all mixed in together. It has curled up a little bit, and it does depend on your... But I'm not worried about that. It depends on the paper that you use. So you spray it liberally. Okay. And you get the heat gun out again. And you just... So what you're doing is you're drying it off to evaporate the water that's in the product, in the Starburst product. And so I'm getting this lovely little colour on the outside, and you'll get... So just be careful, because remember it's heat and these guns are quite hot. So I just sort of lift it up occasionally so it's not burning the paper. It does take a while to dry. I said that before, but it does take a while to evaporate the liquid. Oh, I'm trying to find something. I want 3 hands here, but anyway. It's like I say, it's an interesting sort of technique. I don't know if I do it as well as what Tracey did this morning, but you know, it will kind of do for what I'm working on. It's probably not something I would do all the time because of the amount of embossing powder that you use. lift that up and dry it underneath. So I mean that's fairly interesting what's happening there, um, because I seem to have a big hole in the middle there where all of that. What's the colour that I used? Oh, 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 oh. You just got to be very careful because of so much heat. This is very hot now. Oh dear, I just noticed that my Yesteryear yellow is what I've used in there, because I just found that this one, the sparkling sunset, was just a little bit too orangey for my liking. It was very much a sunsetty colour. So you can see here there seems to not be much of the glitter. There's a big hole there for the glitter, whether I don't know if that's blown away or what, was it there in the first place. Only little bits of glitter, but anyway, I'll just bring that up so you can sort of see. It's a lovely little technique, I suppose. Will I use it all the time? I don't know, but I mean, it's the element of surprise because you don't know what you're going to end up with. And I guess a lot of it sort of accumulated in the middle there because the paper crinkled up. So you might want to tape around the edges if you want to keep your paper flat. And I mean, this is just a cardstock paper, so it's probably not the best thing, but yeah, so I thought I would just show you that technique. I'll just bring that up. Bring these other ones up as well. But, you know, it's just another one of those things that you can have a play with. You know, honestly, I'm a big believer in you just got to play. Let me get all of that out the way so you can see. See what that's all about. Now, I will say, if you're going to be doing something like this, particularly when you're heat gunning a lot, I cannot express how important I think it is to have something like this. This I just bought from Kmart. I've talked about it before. It only cost me like about $5 or $6. They advertise it as a sink, whatever. It's to you know, because it's on little legs, so it lifts it up off the thing. So it means that when you're heat, that you know that didn't really take me as long as what Tracey did, but really is worth having that because when you're drying anything that's very wet, it's just so quick when you're using this thing because the ventilation just flows through. $5 or $6. It's a sink thing, so it's in the kitchen area. Yeah, so worth purchasing because when you're doing something like this, it dries in no time. But anyway, thank you, ladies. I'll just get rid of that so you can sort of see them sitting there. And yeah, so that was Lindy's. And okay, they're the products that I use there. And I haven't got I put the gold away. But yep, I just thought I would pop in because I was so excited when I saw that this morning and thought I would share it with you. Okay, so thanks, girls. That was all, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.